Hey guys, today I am bringing you a comic book reviews video. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 different trades, so without further ado, let's dive on in, let's talk about some comics. The first one I'm going to be talking about today is Wayward, Volume 1, String Theory, and this collects issues 1 through 5. This follows a girl by the name of Rory Lane, and she moves to Japan to live with her mother after her parents have split up. And when she gets there, she feels kind of different. She senses something is going on deep inside of her, you know, like maybe some kind of undiscovered power. And the next thing you know, she's fighting off monsters in Tokyo. That's basically what this series is all about. There are some fun twists and exciting things along the way, but for the most part, I felt really underwhelmed with this trade. To me, the world just felt so underdeveloped, and I know that it might take some time to really fully understand how everything works, and then I'm probably just gonna need to continue on with the series to fully understand everything, but I really would have appreciated some more information to kind of help me fully understand everything that was going on. I also kind of went into this trade with high expectations because it has 2 elements that I love. The first one being Japan, the second one being monsters. Put those 2 together, I have really high expectations. So I had this mindset that it was going to be the best thing in the world, and it just wasn't. It fell rather flat for me. Another problem that I had with this trade is that the characters just felt like they were there. You don't really get to know the characters, and I know that with comic books it takes more than just one trade to fully know every character, but the characters just felt so one-dimensional to me, and I just found the characters to be a super weak part of the story. I think the strongest point for this series is the artwork alone because it is stunning. There's just so much detail that goes into the art, from the monsters to the city of Tokyo itself, and even just the random civilians on the streets. Overall, the artwork was definitely my favorite part of this trade. I'm still kind of questioning whether I should continue on with this series, but you guys should let me know down below if you have read the second trade and if you think it's worth continuing on, or if you just read the single issues and you know how the series kind of progresses. Let me know if you think that I would enjoy it, and if so, then I will definitely be checking out Volume 2. Next up, I've got Hawkeye Volume 1, My Life as a Weapon. And this trade collects issues 1 through 6 along with Young Avengers Presents issue 6. This is a series that I wasn't sure if I was going to like. I knew nothing about Hawkeye going into this story, but this story just made me fall in love with the character of Hawkeye. He is fantastic, he's hilarious, so unexpectedly hilarious. I was dying laughing through a majority of this trade. I didn't know going into this trade that it was going to be so humorous, but the humor was just on point. I just love that Hawkeye is just this normal guy with incredible bow and arrow skills. He doesn't have any mind-blowing superpowers, but I love that he doesn't necessarily let that hold him back. The dialogue completely sold me on this one. We have so many fantastic lines. We have Kate Bishop in this trade, and oh my heck, I love Kate Bishop. Now, this doesn't have necessarily a main story arc. It's kind of just a bunch of different short stories where you follow Hawkeye on a bunch of different missions, and I kind of like that style. It kind of allowed you to see what Hawkeye is made of and what he can do on his own without the Avengers. I will admit that the artwork is not my favorite style. It's definitely more of the classic comic art style, which is something that I can appreciate, but it's just not my favorite style. There were things about it that I did like though. For example, all the action sequences were outstanding. Overall, I really loved Hawkeye, and I would highly recommend checking this one out. Next up, I read Giant Days Volume 1, and this contains issues 1 through 4. Giant Days follows 3 girls, Susan, Esther, and Daisy. The girls have just started college and they become fast friends, and you just kind of follow their journey at college. The best word that I can use to describe this comic book series is simply just fun. It's a lot of fun. If you're looking for a comic book with a focus on diversity and female friendships, definitely check out Giant Days, because that's definitely a focus for this comic book series, and I really appreciate that. Something that this series does really well is getting you attached to each and every character, and it doesn't even really take time to get attached to them. You're basically attached to them right from the start. You want to know more about them, and you want to just continue on this journey with them through college. My one complaint for this volume is that it just felt so short. I just wanted more. I just wanted a whole lot more, and I didn't want it to end, and I know that I could totally just go and pick up the single issues, but I like collecting trades, so meh. I loved the artwork as well. It's nice and quirky. There's a lot of bright colors. It's kind of got this pastel color going for it, and I really like that. There's a nice light tone to it, and I just really enjoy the artwork overall. Then I read Young Avengers Volume 2, Alternative Culture, and this trade collects issues 6 through 10. I was highly anticipating this second volume, and unfortunately, I didn't love it as much as I loved volume 1. I guess I just didn't like how the story progressed in this one. It just felt a little on the weak side as far as the plot goes, but I know that it's building up to this epic finale in volume 3, and I can't wait to get to volume 3 and to read that and to finally see how the story kind of comes together. But the thing that made up for all of my disappointment was the humor and the incredible art style. Jamie McKelvey, which I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but that's who does the art. He is a mastermind when it comes to the art. He always creates these panels that I've just never seen done before, and I just really appreciate his creativity and his ability to make these unique pages. Overall, this volume was fun, but it just didn't blow me away like volume 1 did. Also, I just want to let you guys know that it's like nearly impossible to find physical trades for this series, but you can still read the series online. I think you can read it through Kindle, and I think that there's also an omnibus for this complete series, so you should totally check that out. But I would highly recommend checking out the Young Avengers for the art style alone, because it's fantastic, and the characters are just so much fun. Trust me, you will fall in love with the characters. And finally, I read Ms. Marvel Volume 2, Generation Y, and this trade collects issues 6 through 11. I really appreciated this opening page where we get a recap on what happened in Volume 1, because it's been a while since I read Volume 1, so that was really handy to have. In this trade, Ms. Marvel goes up against the Inventor, and there's also some nice little cameos, but I'm not sure if I can say that because I don't know what constitutes as a spoiler within the comic world yet. I feel like it's not necessarily a spoiler to say who makes an appearance within this trade, but I love the superhero that makes an appearance, and I loved the interaction between Ms. Marvel and the superhero. It was just so great, and I wish that they could team up more often. Something that I really appreciated about this volume is that it makes it clear how Kamala got her powers. In Volume 1, it didn't make it super clear as to how she had gained these crazy abilities, but in this one it was like, yo, this is how it happened. I also just grew to love Kamala so much more in this volume. I loved her a lot in Volume 1, but we see some really great character development within this volume. She really kind of comes into her own as a superhero, and she doesn't let anybody do the work for her. She makes sure that she's the one fighting for her city. I'm a huge fan of the artwork within this series. We have some pretty stunning panels within this one too, specifically this one where it kind of shows you the whole scope of the area they're working at, and I really love panels like that where it just kind of shows you everything. And I also just really love the coloring choices as well within this series. Overall, I really enjoyed this volume, and I would highly recommend checking out Ms. Marvel and this series because it's just a lot of fun. Kamala is such a great character, and I can't wait to read Volume 3. So those are 5 trades that I have read recently. You guys should let me know down below if you have read any of these trades and what you thought of them. I'd love to know. And as always, if you guys have any recommendations, you should totally hit me up down below in the comments. Specifically, I'd love to find more comics like Hawkeye, Ms. Marvel, and Young Avengers, because those are 3 of my faves right now. So let me know down below if you have any recommendations based off of those comics. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so click subscribe if you want to be notified for when I post new videos. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, chew. I also kind of went in, the girls have just started college, what? Then I read Young Avengers Volume 2, alternative,